Yes, we were on our way to come and get the area of Thandi, and she has done exactly what we'd hoped for. We're still a little bit more east of where she stashed the cub, or where Scott had her with the cub. And coming around the corner there, she was in the road, and she just said, hello, I'm going to upstage Tingana. And she has. Here she is. Well done, Ferg. Ferg actually spotted her. I was trying not to put Ferg into, the vehicle into another hole, lest he gets whipped off again. Isn't she a beautiful cat? I'm thinking it's Thandi. I mean, we were right. Probably about 100 meters or so from where the cub was, or where Scott left her this morning. So I'm assuming it's her. My knowledge of the face, I didn't get a good look at her face, but she is a pretty female. Leopard trifecta indeed, everybody. Okay, I'm not sure what she's doing, if she's spotted anything there, but we will follow her. We've still got her there. Going to just go off-road here, folks. There's no guinea fowl alarm calling for her. There's not too much out this way that we saw when we were up earlier. There were a couple in Impala. So while we continue and try to follow this beautiful cat, we're going to go back over to her man, Tingana with Taylor. Yeah, thanks, Taylor. She's very interested in something. I'm not sure what, but she's been sort of tiptoeing around this bush here, having a very good sniff at whatever might be around. Maybe there's a carcass here. Maybe she can smell some Franklin. I'm not quite sure, but we're just going to stay right where we are because she's coming straight towards us through this little bush here. So I apologize if the view is not so great, but she's about to come through. Well, she's coming. Definitely smelling something. This is so special to see her again. I was really hoping to see her bundle of joy, but we'll stay without that for now, as we just stay with this beautiful and sublime cat. Apologies for the back of the vehicle. She is walking behind us, and our aerial might get in the way now. She is a superstar, and she knows it. There she goes. As soon as she moves away, but I will reposition, folks. Fergie's going to have to come all the way around, but she's still very, very interested in smelling whatever it is that is out here. I have no idea what. But she's right there, slowly making her way. Sky asks how far away are Hukumuri and Thandi. I'm going to have a quick look at the map, see if I can get an idea, and I'll give you a distance. We're right on our eastern boundary now. Probably about 2 miles, I would say. It's a fair distance, considering how these leopards move. It's a decent enough distance. I think in a very safe place. She spent a lot of time out here with the cub, out on the eastern side, and she's left the cub probably in hiding somewhere where we were earlier, and she's come out. She's definitely on the prowl. You can see the body language does not lie. I'm very interested in what's going on. Her senses are very attuned. Alan, you think she might be tracking where Hukumuri's scent marked? I'm not sure. I don't know if he's come this far east. He seems to be more sort of on the middle western side of Djuma. We're right on the eastern side right now, and I don't think she would be following him. She might be following the markings or the scent markings of a steenbok. This is ideal habitat for them. We bumped one of them on our way through here earlier, if you remember that. And they are quite secretive animals, but they have very small territories, and she might be trying to track one of them down. Dacre also, this is ideal habitat for them, and she is, as we've seen, an absolutely spectacular Dacre hunter. And she's just moving very quietly following very unseen or invisible trails to our eyes, but she's definitely interested. Something stirring in the air for her, and she's just standing very still, trying to listen, find out what there is. Is there a small hoof fall? Is there a little sniff? Maybe a little bit of browsing, feeding behavior, perhaps. I'm going to start up and continue on with her before we lose her in the long grass, which is very easily done. It is thankfully not too thick, the vegetation here. There is a lot of long grass. So we're going to go from this beautiful leopardess to Scott and his big tomcat. A much better view indeed. The queen is on her throne as she surveys her territory. Isn't that a marvelous view? She creeps up the side of this termite mound, very similar to the way I watched Hukumuri do it the other day. And possibly she's out for a warthog. It's unsure of what she might be looking for, but these cats are such opportunists. And what I noticed with Hukumuri the other day, he investigated every single termite mound he came across, and it looks like she's going to play the patience game. I wonder if she's got patience pants like Taylor does. We certainly do, and we will spend most likely the rest of our drive with this beautiful cat.
I certainly know that Taylor's patience pants are leopard spots.
Ferg says that he certainly knows that Taylor's patience pants definitely have leopard spots. Katja wants to know, why is the Sabi Sands an ideal habitat for leopards? Well, Katja, in fact, the entire low-veld savanna biome is ideal habitat for leopard. But the Sabi Sands has been an ecotourism operator. Many private landowners, many ecotourism lodges in the Sabi Sands that have conducted for over 60 years intensive leopard habituation. And essentially what it is the leopards are very relaxed to the vehicles. A reserve I've worked in before also had lots of leopards. You just never saw them. There were far fewer vehicles, and there was never any in-depth habituation process that went through. So 60 years ago, the first leopards were habituated painstakingly. The pioneers put forward and figured out how to follow leopards and how game drive safaris would work. And then each of those leopards that became relaxed had offspring, and the offspring became relaxed, and henceforward we have got a huge number of leopards within the Sabi Sands that are very used to seeing vehicles and do not see us as food or any hindrance to their behavior. They just sort of go by their way. We just seem to be a big box that follows them around and takes pictures. So the habitat here is ideal for leopards, but the low-veld savanna biome, small mammal species such as duiker, steenbok, impala, they all form the primary diet. And when we talk about habitat for an animal is not just the environment it lives in, but the food resource. So if you don't have the food, the animals will have to move out or adapt a different way. And when we go to the northern parts of Gauteng, in the Magaliesberg Mountains and Pretoria, north of Johannesburg, the leopards there, they come into the towns, and sadly as it might sound, they've adapted to feed on domestic dogs because the food resource out there, due to man and the sort of expansion of cities, the leopards are still doing very well out there, but there are dogs going missing all the time. It's very sad to say, but the leopards are very well adapted to adapting. Hence I said that word twice, but they're a very adaptable species and will always generally be the last species or predator to move out of an area because they're able to change and shift their diet. Okay, so we're doing a little bit of a bounce around from leopard to leopard, and we're going to go from this female once again, but this time to Taylor and Tingana. And you're back with us, and Thandi is still here. He's just starting to move again. Oh, we are in infrared, folks, so as to maximize the visual that we'll be able to have with regards to this cat. And we're going to keep up with her. She's been sitting nicely on that termite mound since you last came. I might need to talk on the radio shortly, as we have another game viewer that is quite interested in coming and having a look. So apologies for that, but I also need to try and keep up. Okay. I've got a bit of a rubber problem here. Apologies. There we go. So, welcome to join. Just mobile south. I hope you got my lights there before. Just follow me off-road there. I'm about 100 meters from you. Okay. There she goes. We're heading south towards our southeastern boundary now. Was playing the patience game. She's very interested. Look at that beautiful face. Gianna, age 11, your mom is allergic to cats. What a shame. I love cats, and I'm not sure if domestic cats and leopards have a similar sort of allergy type of effect on people. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, Ferg. But the thing about this is that no one's going to come and touch Thandi. You'd be very hard-pressed to try and touch a leopard without losing your hand. So I think she's got worse things to worry about than her allergies when it comes to getting close to a female or a male leopard. But yeah, we don't get close enough to them to pick up the allergies. I would suggest that if she did spend time out here, to not come and track her, because that would be quite difficult if you got any of the hair in the track or any of that. That might cause allergies, if that is in effect the same as the normal domestic cats. She's very, very interested, very, very listening. I'm just going to give another update on the radio, folks. Apologies. Our stations, Thandi still mobile south from the junction, Drakensberg and Mamba. Last vehicle, he sort of came towards us but then didn't see my lights. I think he's quite confused. Okay, so while we try and reposition to find this lovely cat again, we're going to go back to Scott and Hukumuri. Yes, we have found her. Just calling another vehicle into the sighting, folks, so just bear with me. She's just over here. I'm going to try and get across. There's a little bit of a drainage line coming through. It's always exciting following a leopard. We've got another vehicle joining us, as I said. It's Tom, I believe, one of the landowners. So we just get through this little thick bush here. Apologies for not looking back, folks. I'm trying to focus on here. And we're going to go to Taylor with Tingana. Thank you, Taylor. She's still moving. We've had a little bit of a time trying to follow her through here, but we are doing it with the infrared, as you can see. Also trying to get Tom into the sighting, because he hasn't seen her yet, and I'm sure he would like to. There she's rolling. I'm going to switch off. Let's watch her. This is classic of what leopards do. They like to roll in the dung of other animals to pick up the scent, to try and mask their scent, so to speak. They do smell quite bad. They do smell quite terrible, actually. The smell of rotting meat. I'm just going to speak again in the radio, so please forgive me. Tom, she's mobile directly away from my vehicle now. Towards the road you came around on. So maybe if you go forward 100 meters or so, and I'll keep directing you. Yeah. Ferg seems to have lost picture on the camera, but I can see on the monitor. Kirst, are you getting... I'm getting it all there. Yeah, I don't know what... Hold on, everybody. This is off-roading at its finest. And we're going to continue with her and see what she gets up to. And while we do so, we're going to go once again back to Scott and Hukumuri. Thank you very much, Scott. And how far can she see? A lot further than me, I can tell you that. But she's still moving here. Don't think I've lost her. She's just up ahead somewhere. But it's wonderful being able to follow a leopard in this environment. She doesn't show any sign of being bothered by us. And the grass is getting rather long. Haven't seen in about 15 seconds. And she could quite easily just have disappeared from view. We were giving Tom, the landowner there, a bit of a space to have a look. And just like that, the beautiful leopardess, right before the end of the show, seems to have given us the slip. Can you see her there, bud? No. We're still using infrared to not influence these animals, so we've been following her with infrared, but only when you lose her from time to time do we put the spotlight on. It does make it quite difficult to keep up with them if you do lose them. The spotlight gives you a little bit more field of vision. Oh no, Fergie, where did she go? Well, folks, it looks like she has decided enough is enough. Chances are she's probably lying down just back where we passed. But we're going to go to Scott, who's managed to maintain his leopard, and let's see what Hukumuri is up to.